In the area of women's health, especially the health of the marginalized rural women, what we is very obvious and even documented is that doctors' practices have stopped short of being scientific, and there are large number of villages where every woman's uterus has been removed, called hysterectomy. Now, hysterectomy is one operation that a doctor decides, and there is never a second opinion taken, and that culture does not exist among doctors. And as a result, losing your uterus by the time you're in the early 20s has huge consequences. Women go into early menopause, bone pains, body pains, because estrogen levels start falling. Now, why has it happened? Because ordinary childbirth was taking place at home, and even institutional deliveries are happening in government hospitals or very small nursing homes. The uh, manner in which this really resulted in decreased incomes of rural doctors who are constantly comparing their lifestyles with urban corporate hospitals. And one way that they could cash in on women's ill health was hysterectomies. Now, why did they need to do so many hysterectomies? Remember, when women go through a tubectomy, that is a family planning operation, and most women are opting for it after 2 or 3 children, there is a little bit of pain and cervical discharge, which may result in an infection. And any infection in the vaginal area requires some care, and it can be treated without too many drugs involved. But this is a little frightening for women because their partners are a little upset, and they constantly relate it to the fact that you had a surgery, you had a tubectomy. And going to doctors ends up in the doctors realizing that these anxieties can be played upon and utilized, and they suggest a hysterectomy very, very easily. And the women will pawn their jewelry, sell their little huts or the land to get a hysterectomy done. In fact, some governments have now put their foot down on hysterectomies to say only government doctors, and doctors, sometimes you need a second opinion before hysterectomies are done. But a lot of damage has been done, and it continues to be done, that women's uteruses are removed at a very early age. The long term consequences are not even recorded, and we'll have to wait another 30, 40 years to know what huge damage will be done. This is one thing. The other area, of course, is cesarean sections. It's women who give birth to children, and for whatever reason, there are needs. Cesarean sections have saved women's lives, there's no doubt about it. But the general incidence should not cross 10%. I mean, it's 7 to 14% who will need it, and if not done, the mother could die, the baby could die, or both could die, depending on how serious the condition is. Unfortunately, the doctors have stepped in even here to, uh, in the name of saving mothers or in the name of responding to the demands that a cesarean section has to be done, that a large number of women are subjected to unnecessary cesarean sections. And this results in scars that later could result in an abdomen that bursts. After all, a scar can get weak and friable over time if a woman is not strong, does not eat well, has other stresses in her life. Cesarean sections in certain places are as high as 60% of all deliveries. Now, this is an obscene number, which means so many women have gone through unnecessary surgeries, and the um, return to normalcy takes a long time, like any major surgery. And she not only does a cesarean section, this woman has to recover, she has to take care of the baby, take care of the housework, and recovery from a huge starve. Whereas if men go through a surgery, the whole household takes care of their needs till they recover. But here she has to manage herself. And the bigger problem is that during her next pregnancy, this scar can burst, resulting in a very big shock and even death of women. So these are catching up, and a large number of places it's being recorded, talked about, but there is no attempt to record, enumerate, and put in place systems that will prevent unfair practices. Women are in no condition to even understand. They feel their lives have been saved. But it's the professionals who are really responsible for debating it and raising it in their societies, which is not happening at this stage.